All right, let's get right into it. We usually think of grammar as, a bunch of dry, dusty old rules. But what if it's actually one of the most powerful tools we have for shaping our own history? Today, we're going to explore how the words we choose to talk about the past can actually change its very meaning for us, right now.
I mean, really think about that for a second. On the surface, both sentences are about the past, right? But they just feel different. One sounds like it's done, over, a memory. The other feels like it's still a part of the story. That tiny, tiny change from worked to have worked, that's what we're going to unpack. It's such a subtle choice, but wow, it has a huge impact. Because that's really what this is all about. It's storytelling. The grammar tenses we use aren't just there so we can pass an English test. Nope, they're tools. They are the tools that frame our relationship with time itself, and they turn simple facts into a powerful narrative. And I promise you, this is not going to be some boring grammar lesson. We are going on an exploration of perspective. We're going to see how a simple verb choice can signal whether we see our past as a finished memory or as something that is still alive and kicking in our present. So, to really get a handle on this, we're going to use two really simple but powerful ideas, the snapshot and the living echo. These are two completely different ways of looking at the past, and believe it or not, our grammar tells us exactly which one we're using. So first up, we've got the snapshot. This is your classic past simple tense. I want you to think of it like an old photograph you find in an album. The moment is captured, right? It happened at a specific time, and it is completely finished. It's a historical record, locked in time. And then we have the living echo. This is the present perfect tense. Now, this isn't some dusty old photo. This is an echo from the past that is still reverberating in the room with us right now. The action might have happened in the past, sure, but it has a direct result or connection that's affecting the present moment. Now, check this out. This is where it gets really interesting. The snapshot, or the past simple, it's all about history. It answers the question, when? When did that happen? But the living echo, the present perfect, that's all about experience. It answers the question, have you ever had this experience in your life? You see the difference? The exact time isn't the point at all. The connection to right now is everything. Okay, let's make this super concrete with a story. It's a story from a single apartment in London. Two different men lived in the exact same flat, but centuries apart. And the way we talk about them shows this difference perfectly. So first, we have Karl Marx. He lived in this flat back in the 19th century. Now listen to that verb, lived, past simple. This is a perfect historical snapshot. It's a fact about a specific period of time that is completely 100% finished. His story in that flat is over. Okay, now, let's meet John. He's the guy who lives there today. And he says, I've lived here for 3 years. You hear that? Have lived. Present perfect. This is a classic living echo. The action started in the past, but it is not over. It continues right up to this very moment. John is still there. And this just brilliantly lays it all out. For Marx, the verb lived puts him firmly in a closed historical time frame. It's done. But for John, has lived connects his past 3 years directly to his present. It's the same exact flat, but two totally different relationships with time. And it's all communicated by that one little verb choice. Amazing, right? So what this really shows us is that one man's story in that flat is a closed chapter in a history book. The other story? Well, it's still being written, page by page. And the grammar is what tells us which is which. Okay, let's move on to our next case study and see how this whole idea builds. This time, we're talking about an archaeologist named Frida Hoffmann. Her life is a perfect illustration of how we use that living echo tense, not just for things that are still happening, but to talk about the collection of experiences that make us who we are today. So imagine someone asks Frida a question like this. They're not asking for a date. They're not saying, so what exactly did you discover on May 5th, 1995? No, that's not the point. They're asking about the sum of her life's experiences. Has this incredible event become a part of her story? And that right there is a key function of the present perfect. It lets us talk about our past as a collection of experiences, kind of like a resume of our life so far, without getting bogged down in all the specific dates and times. It's all about what we carry with us into the present. So just look at her life described in these living echoes. She has been to many countries. She has discovered ancient tombs. She has written books. Each of these things is a past event for sure, but together they form the identity of who Frida Hoffman is right now, an experienced, incredibly accomplished archaeologist. You see, her past isn't just a series of disconnected historical snapshots. It's not she went here in 85, then she wrote that in 92. No. It's the living, breathing foundation of her identity today. Her entire past echoes into everything she is and everything she does. So, what does all this mean for you? Well, every single day, you make these same choices when you talk about your own life. You are the narrator of your own story, and the tenses you use, they frame that story for everyone who hears it. Really, it all just boils down to perspective. When you talk about a past job or a past relationship or something you accomplished, are you presenting it as a finished snapshot, a chapter that's closed, or are you presenting it as a living echo, an experience that has shaped you and is still a part of who you are today? And ultimately, that is the power you have as a storyteller. The tense you choose isn't just some random grammatical rule. It is a framing device. It signals to your audience, and maybe even more importantly to yourself, whether your past is a museum piece or a living foundation you're still building on. So the next time you talk about your past, just listen to your verbs. Pay attention. Are you telling your story as a series of disconnected snapshots, totally confined to the past? Or are you telling it as a living echo, a collection of experiences that continue to shape your vibrant, incredible present? The choice, as always, is yours.